And your Corona Saquarema Pro, presented by Banco do Brasil champion for 2024, Marco Mignot. What a run for Marco Mignot.
Vámonos, pues. Here we go.
Let's go.
Marco Mignot, it is so great to see you. Part of the rookie class for the championship tour. Congratulations and thanks for hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
I feel like we've known you for a very long time, but you're not very old. You're 23, you'll be 24 when we kick off the season. It's been fun following your profile. I think the first thing I want to ask you, it's a basic question, but it might be one of the coolest questions for someone like you to answer. Where are you from?
That's a good question. That's a really good question, Joe. I'm from a bit everywhere. I'm like a citizen of the world. But what do I feel? I call myself French-Mexican. Like I have French blood, but I've lived pretty much my whole life in Mexico. I went to school in Mexico. I learned how to surf in Mexico, and pretty much all my friend group is Mexicans. And but yeah, I would say French-Mexican.
I like that. So are your parents from, what part of France are they from?
So my dad, he was born in this place called Perpignan. It's like in the south of France, but in the Mediterranean Sea. My mom is Spanish. She's from this island called Palma de Mallorca, from the Mediterranean Sea too. And but it was a bit long story, but my dad grew up a bit in Canada. I actually have a Canadian passport. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but yeah, I have a Canadian passport. And my dad grew up a bit in Canada in Dominican Republican. Yeah, something like that. Huh?
Yeah, what a great story. I always heard about a story as well of you traveling around the world on a sailboat and surfing perfect waves. Is that true?
Surfing the perfect waves, my dad surfed a little bit, but he wasn't a surfer. Like, he was not like that was not his passion, or he just did it once in a while. I was born in New Caledonia, in Nouméa, in this island, but I didn't grow up that much in the boat. It was more my bigger brother, Mignot, who Nome, that he was in the Challengers too, before. And yeah, he was born in Panama. He grew up, he did like 3 years in the boat. He learned how to bike around the boat. He learned how to he learned so many stuff. Yeah.
That's cool. And then you really got to grow up in a town called Sayulita, which is very unique and very special. It really stands out globally as one of the raddest towns on the planet. Can you describe to people what life is like in Sayulita?
I would say Sayulita is it's an amazing place to grow up. I mean, we would either fish, surf, walk around town. I mean, I think like Sayulita has a really good community. Like, I remember like sometimes the fishermen would be like, oh, I just fished this huge tuna. Like, somebody brings some tostadas, and then like the other guys are like, oh, just bring some spices. And then the other guy was like, oh, bring some onions. And it would like bring this whole thing, this whole crew, like, and everybody would eat, everybody would have a good time. I don't know, there's like a rad community in Sayulita. Like, you're not judged like of who you are. You can be yourself, and that's something I really appreciate of Sayulita. Like, you can go to the restaurant without a t-shirt, you know, like, so this, I just love this life over there, you know.
It seems like there's a lot of people from all around the world that call Sayulita home. It's really attracted an international type of base there.
Yeah, no, Sayulita is a international town, which I think it makes it really rad. You know, I like to be like surrounded by all kind of people. You know, I like to be with some American. I like to be with some Mexican. Like, if it just creates this really nice group. You know, I learned how to speak English. I learned English in Mexico, actually. So, like, some friends would speak English, and that's how I didn't really understand him in the beginning, but I was like, I had to figure it out somehow. So it's sick. I love it. I like to be international. I think I would need to live somewhere where there's like a bit of people from around the world.
Take us back to the beginning. If you do remember the first wave, like the most first important wave of your life, does that come to mind at all to you?
Yeah. No, I remember one time. So I started in the boogie board. So the my brother Nome and Diego, my cousins, started surfing before me. I would look at like see them surf and stuff, but my mom bought me a boogie board, and I started like in the inside, and I just boogie board the whole day, all day long, and then I started to stand up in a boogie board. So I would say those were like my first waves, but one time I got my friend's board and I went out the back. Normally I never go, like when I was younger. Grabbed my first wave and it just felt like, I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my days.
What wave was that?
It was in Sayulita. In Sayulita, that was my first wave, and that's where everything started. So thank you, Sayulita, for giving me this amazing life.
Was it pretty immediate that you were on this path to live a life as a pro surfer, or did that come later?
I think it all started like watching like surfer magazines, and then I would watch like Kelly Slater was my biggest inspiration. Like for me, Kelly kind of got me to when I watched him, I was like, oh, I want to be him. I want to surf like him. When I would wear like a pair of Quicksilver board shorts, I was like, oh, I feel like I'm like surfing with like Kelly Slater. I don't know. I actually, you know what? It's a funny story that I liked so much Kelly. I remember the first Chihuahua. I called him Slater.
That is awesome. Talk about a hero.
Yeah, no, he's the man, he's the king.
What about meeting Kelly for the first time after having, so much inspiration from the GOAT coming from Sayulita? Do you remember when you first got to meet him?
First time actually was in France. When I met Kelly Slater, it was at Pierre Agnès' house. I remember Pierre Agnès would do a big party, and he would do a party, Quicksilver party, and he would come, and I remember I was like, oh, can I take a picture? And I was like, I was pretty young. I was like, what's going on over here? So yeah, no, that was the first time I met Kelly.
Got to see that photo.
Yeah, no, I have it actually. I have to find it. It's somewhere over there.
Oh, that's awesome. It's pretty amazing when you can have a hero, and the next thing you know, you're riding, for the same company. You get to be good friends with his friends, and I know you have a lot of great mentors in your life, not just in Mexico, but also in France, like Mickey Picon. What has Mickey meant to you in your career?
Mickey Picon, where can I start? This guy has done so much for me. I mean, he's grabbed me under his wing, and he's brought me to where I am today. He's brought me all this knowledge, and like it really comes from the heart. Everything he does, not only for me, like everybody around him. And if you really know him, he's a good guy, and he's real. And that's what I like. Like I was saying, Mickey is everything I know. Like competition strategy, like knowing how to like organize myself, like booking tickets, like to so many stuff. Like he's my mentor. Like the only thing I can say is thank you so much, Mickey, and he's such a great guy and such a big inspiration, and I'm so thankful for him.
Thinking about your wild card call up in 2019, you were a Grom, man. What do you remember about that big experience?
No, I remember actually in the beginning of the year, Miki told me, hey, maybe you could have the wild card for the CP. And I was like, are you serious? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? And he's like, oh, maybe win an event, QS or something. And I was like, oh, I started like visualizing myself winning an event. And I remember like the event right before, I think it was Lacano. I lost like the first two events in Europe, And I went to Lacano, like no expectations. I ended up winning that event, and that got me kind of like um, for maybe having my spot over there. And then I didn't. It was not really happening and stuff. And I remember one day I woke up like uh, just not just cruising, and I just get an email. Hey Marco, you have the walk card in like 3 days notice, pretty much. And I was like, oh my god, I was freaking out. I was like, it was like 6 in the morning, screaming in the house, and but yeah, surfing with my heroes like Gabriel Medina. I had him twice in the heat, and I almost beat him in the third round. I remember I was like so close on beating him. That would have been pretty special. But yeah, I have another chance. Maybe we're trying to do that in 25. But Medina is such a big inspiration. He's such a good guy. I got to meet him in Portugal, and like he invited me dinner and stuff. So he's a really good guy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And just focusing on the Challenger Series for you, it really didn't take long. When I look at 2023, that was the first year you did all the events, and you were in that conversation of, maybe 4 or 5 spots out when it came to qualification. And then this year, you ended up finishing third on the Challenger Series, making 2 finals, but maybe the most emotional one. Well, they're probably both emotional, but the one you were with Al Cleland Jr. at the U.S. Open to represent Mexico together in that final in on such a prestigious event in Southern California. What did that mean to you?
Wow, no, that was special. Me and Alan, like we know each other before even getting sponsored or even being in the surfing world. I remember I would go to Pascuales just because we would take surf trips from Sayulita to Pascuales, and I was scared to surf the main peak, and he was really young too, so we would go to the end of the beach, and it's like in the river mouth, and we would go together, surf all day. I would look at him get barrel, and he taught me how to barrel too, just watching him stuff, and just by when you watch somebody, you try to repeat the same thing and stuff. But yeah, I think that kind of reminded me when I was in the semifinals. I made my heat, and then he made his heat, and I was like, wow, we've done it. We've done pretty good, Like, it's an amazing feeling to be with somebody you've served since you're a little kid, and yeah, to represent Mexico, Sayulita, and he's representing Boca de Pascuales. It was an amazing moment. Something that will forever be in history.
Did you have to shake off a loss? I mean, not coming home with the first place trophy, or was it pretty easy since you were with your good friend?
I mean, of course, I'm a competitor. I want to win. I want to beat everybody. But I was, if I would say, if anybody would have to beat me that day, I wanted Alan to beat me in the final. And of course, the last 5 seconds, he just grabs the last waves, makes it happen. It was hard. I was like, what just happened? Why? But then I was like, no, I won too. I won because he won. And I feel like when somebody you like and you genuinely respect, when somebody wins, I win too. And that's that's the way I think. It's somebody that a good friend wins, I win too. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I have so many strengths coming to mind that you're going to bring to the tour, but definitely already having a lot of success at Saquarema, basically in back-to-back years on the Challenger Series, from the third and then to a huge win to jump up 10 spots to qualify. And knowing that's a CT event with that kind of comfort, that has to feel great.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, Saquarema, I feel like it has that Latino vibe, Latino America, like people, a lot of energy. And I feel like for me, when I go somewhere, I almost feel like I'm going to do good already. I feel good. You have this little thing, you're like, oof, I feel good here. And Brazil is it's a place where I like it a lot. The people, the energy, and kind of reminds me of home. So, yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
I would say like 3 that I speak it, read it, and I would say that I could be fluent. But right now my Portuguese is doing pretty good. Falo um pouquinho. Falo um pouquinho.
Oh, that's really helpful on tour, as you know. I was thinking about next year and the events that you're really looking forward to. If you could pick one event on the calendar that you want to win, maybe more than any other on tour, is there one that's popping out to you?
I mean, of course, like pipe it would be a dream come true. It's the biggest event in mind. But where I see myself winning is Portugal. I would love to win in the European crowd. I feel like it's a place where it's all about being with the flow in with the ocean, being in the right place at the right time. I think I've surfed the wave a lot, and I have this European crowd with me. So let's go.
I love that. Who are you going to bring with you on tour next year? From coaches to family? Have you worked that out yet?
I'm definitely going to have a coach, Jason, with me. Jason Aparisa will be with me. So he's going to be there. Family, hopefully some of my little brother and Nome and my dad can join. But, they have their things and stuff. So we'll see. We'll figure it out.
Pretty nice that now the cut has been moved to 7 events. You qualified at the right time, my friend.
No, yeah, I'm stoked. I'm telling you, I'm really stoked. So I think the expansion was amazing because it gives us a bit of time to even learn even more and adapt. So yeah, I think I'm super stoked.
Any wave on tour that you're marking as maybe could be the biggest challenge for you on tour next year?
My biggest challenge, I think, I feel like when I see Margaret River, I feel like those type of waves like Sunset, I spent a lot of time last year in Sunset. I probably did like in a month and a half, I did like 60 sessions. I pretty much surfed only Sunset. So, because I feel like if you know how to surf Sunset, you can surf anywhere. But yeah, Margaret, I think it's a place that I'm actually looking forward because I feel like you never know. I feel like it looks like a challenging wave. I would say that would be the most challenging wave.
Talk about boards. What are you going to be riding on tour?
I'll be riding JS surfboards. Best
You've
boards
been with
in
them
the
for a
world.
long time, right?
Yeah, I know. Jason's been, Jason, like even when I was not even in the challengers, he would like talk to me and tell me, hey, how's the boards? And until this day, he's been really amazing with me, and I'm really thankful to have him like since like the QS all the way to the CT now. So yeah, JS, that's where I want to be riding.
Well, you finally reached your goal of making the tour. We have a long off season. When or have you already began to really put your head down to train, to start focusing? When does that begin, or has it already?
I think I feel like I've done now. My lifestyle is like it's almost like I train, I surf, that's what I do every day. I feel like it's not even like, of course, there's some moments I'm gonna have to put a bit more of hard work, but I feel like I could tomorrow the camp could start. I'm ready today. Like I'm ready to go. But yeah, of course, I'm gonna be coming to Hawaii a month before, getting ready, adapting to the energy, adapting to the pipe, adapting to the bigger boards. So I think Hawaii is gonna get me really ready for the first event.
Let's focus on Pipeline for a moment here. Your experience out there, and how confident do you feel of making some big heats?
Of course, it's a pipe. It's for sure like a challenging wave, but I feel like I've surfed it the last maybe 10 years. I've been coming in those 10 years. I've been coming and surfing that wave every year, and I feel like every year I would adapt myself and get better out there. I had the chance of doing the backdoor shootout and surfing one heat. It was like third reef. So I had the experience of surfing it really big. So I feel like I'm really confident. I think I could surf it big, small, and I'm not like, oh, okay, it's the first time. I don't know what I'm doing out there. I respect so much Pipeline, and I'm actually, hopefully it's 6 to 12 foot perfect pipe in offshore, and you know the perfect pipe. I want to see myself on a big pipe wave or a big backdoor. That would be a dream. So I'm stoked to be surfing with 3 guys out or 2 guys out. That's gonna be amazing.
Have you been to Abu Dhabi yet?
I haven't been to Abu Dhabi. Let's go. I really want to surf that wave. I'm looking forward for that wave.
And what about any other spots on the calendar that you have not been to yet? Are there any others besides Abu Dhabi?
There's El Salvador. I haven't been to El Salvador. I was gonna go, but the swell wasn't right. But yeah, I want to go. I want to go El Salvador. I feel like it's a place that it suits my surfing really well.
Yeah, good Latin vibe as well. I think you're going to fit into the mix really well at that event.
Let's
for
go.
sure.
Latinoamérica, vamos, para arriba.
Let's go. I was thinking about all the fun things to do when you're a rookie. You get to choose a jersey number. What did you end up going with and why?
I went 73. I don't know. I feel like I like the number 7. I like the number 10 too. So 7 and 3 does 10. So because 10 is occupied by one of the kings of the tour, and but yeah, I like 7. I like 3 too. I was like, oh, 73 does 10. I don't know. I felt like it was the vibe.
I think you nailed it. Let's go 73.
Let's go 73 all the way.
And anyone on tour that you're just like, let me get a heat with this guy. Let's go. Is there one person on tour where you're like just dreaming of a heat with, and where would it be? What venue?
Like I always, this has been a dream of mine, is to surf against Kelly Slater. I mean, I know that he's maybe not gonna be on tour next year. Maybe he's gonna get some wild cards. I don't know. You never know with Kelly.
You never know.
But if I could have one heat, and if he's like a wild card, or if I could have one heat with the boss, with the king, that would be him.
Yeah, let's get him a wild card. Let's do
Yeah,
it. Why not?
Kelly, do the pipeline, please.
Oh, it'd have to be a pipe, right?
Yeah, I think so. That'd be sick. No, just to be in the heat with him, that would be. I could say I surfed the heat with Kelly.
Where's your head at with setting goals for your rookie year? What do you want to accomplish at the end of 2025?
For end of 2025, like I'm going for rookie of the year in top 10. Rookie of the year in top 10. I know it's I'm gonna have to adapt, but I'm feeling good.
And I suppose we talked about your wild card in 2019, but we got to see you on tour in 2024 in Portugal. How much different of a surfer do you feel like today, even compared to earlier this season?
I feel that I've learned a lot, not only like surfing, but with myself. I know how to prepare myself to get into a heat. I think sometimes I feel like these days there's so many good surfers. I think everybody can go out and from the challenger go out and do an 8 or a 9. But I feel, how can you put yourself in this mindset that you can do it? I think I know how to put myself in that energy, in that mindset, to be able to express myself fully in a heat. And that's what I got right now, is that I know how to put myself in that mental frame, or like that mental place.
I love that, Marco. Man, so stoked to hang out with you, and I can't wait to see what you do on the Dream Tour. Thanks for taking some time out for us, and let's go 73.
Let's go. Thank you, Joe, for having me. I'm so stoked to be here. And then let's go 73, double M in the house.
that was the sign you were doing on some of those claims last year.
The double M. Marco
That's
Mignot.
for your name. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I usually do this. So I'm going to be doing some of this on tour.
Is that pointing to the M right there? Let me see.
Yeah, pointing to the M.
So whenever you have a claim that you're going to introduce, give me a heads up so we know what you're about to lay down after a big ride.
For sure.
Sometimes Sammy Pupil will be like, oh, I got this from like Bronny James or something, we got to know. So
For sure. Actually, there's this kid who came up to me. He was like, hey, please, if you do a claim, do this, please. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll try to do that one for sure.
Claims are sick, huh?
I love claims. Everybody has different people. Some are like, no, I'm not going to claim. Okay, whatever. But I want to claim, I'll do it. I don't care what people say or think. So I feel like claiming I'll do it.
Because it's an expression of how you're feeling in the moment, right? Are you gonna claim on a wave that's like under a 5, or does it have to be an excellent score? Does it have to turn the heat, or does it even matter? Is it just up to you?
No, I feel like it has to be excellent. I mean, of course, maybe I'm gonna claim something that is under excellent, but I feel like, I don't know, if it has to feel like, wow, I just landed like a huge air, or I feel I just got out of a huge barrel, or, but yeah, I feel like you have to own the claim in a way.
Shoot, let's get those M's out at Pipeline, my friend.
Vamos, la doble M in the house. Let's go.
Awesome, brother. Thanks so much, and I can't wait to see you on tour.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.